Hey, everybody. In this podcast episode, we discuss whether or not we will see businesses continue to allow their employees to work remotely or whether or not they will go back to their old ways of working. Also, we wanted to provide a little bit of a disclaimer. The discussion that we have was based on businesses that already work in an office environment and don't really interact with their clients personally on a day-to-day level. So we know that there's many jobs out there that aren't applicable to this discussion. So we wanted to put that out there before you started watching the video. Thanks, everyone.
So, right now it's an emergency where you're just going after whatever piece of software that you can grab just to make sure that your office remains functional, during this time. So that I'm completely fine with. However, it's at the end where you can, gather your thoughts and look at your notes and, see how everyone was able to work remotely, where people need to actually start putting some serious thought into how they're actually going to maintain a remote working experience for everyone.
Like companies are going through today, like during this crisis, they're going to come out of it having learned something and may not go back to their old traditional way of doing business because they actually found some things that they like that maybe improve their lives even under these stressful times, which is exactly what happened when we did our 2-week experiment, which was forced, but we came out of it. We learned a lot. And it wasn't just learning because we sell that concept and idea and the tools around it, and it's important to be able to eat your own dog food, but we learned a lot about it. Some like it, some don't, some are in the middle somewhere, and that's okay. You can have that mix, and I think you could please more people. And again, if you have the right tools and the right attitudes and everything else, and create an overall better working environment for the company as a whole.
What we did to kind of fall back on that, what you were saying earlier, Stephen and Todd, when you gather that kind of data, and I obviously don't speak for all the different departments. I know the IT game, and all the guys that are with me, and what speaking from an IT admin perspective here is what we ended up doing, which some of the people listening to this might feel helpful, is that we use Microsoft Forms to create a survey for our employees. And what we did is, before the 2-week experiment started, I was developing the questions kind of based off of what my guys already did, because, I had 2 employees that were already working from home, and that, I gave them kind of the permission to have an open dialogue with me like they always do, but in this case, more unfiltered. Tell me everything. I want to know every experience that you have, whether it was good or bad, so that we can build our own IT pros and cons kind of thing. And that kind of morphed into, well, when the whole company does it, maybe we do like this survey to everybody. We'll use this data to ask them how they feel about certain aspects of working from home, distractions or convenience, being able to do certain things, that's a positive, but on the other side, you don't have the room, or now you have to bring in a couple monitors because, you don't have a really good setup, things like that. So when we did the survey, it was like, I don't know, 15, 20 questions or something like that. And then I took everybody's data, put it in, a graph that Microsoft Forms will kind of spit out for you. And it tells you, hey, a majority of your workforce likes doing this. Or, they enjoy the ability to work from home because it's freedom. But a lot of them said that they weren't really prepared hardware wise. Right. And the thing they were missing was a headset. They had to keep talking on speakerphone and things were happening and they didn't like that. So what we did is we turned around and bought everybody headphones that wanted, or headsets that wanted headsets, and that fixed that problem. So, obviously now it's not really the experiment, but having this time to gather the data and talk to your employees, again, maybe using something like Microsoft Forms to send them something toward the end of this to kind of gauge what data you did get, because it's happening now. There is no question. People that are being forced to work from home are going to do so until they're not forced to work from home, and there's going to be an experience there. And I think it's important that business owners get that kind of information, so that if they do choose to have a work from home program going forward, they're able to make things better for the company and better for their employees.
Well, and piggybacking on what you're just saying there, there's the cost element, because say, well, not buying all my employees an extra monitor and headset just so they can be comfortable at home. But when you look at what companies pay for their employees in a traditional office environment, upwards of $1,000 or more per month, every month. If you have
Per
the
person.
ability to, number one, make everybody happy because they get this work at home balance, change, shift, and you're able to reduce the size or even eliminate your office altogether, then you can be real creative. Like I remember Steve, you're like, I do a lot of video editing and recording and stuff like that. How am I going to do that at home? And we said, all right, let's take a step back and talk about this. Not that we're going to convert your house into an office or make you do that because it's your personal home. But he's like, well, I'm probably going to work in this bonus room. The only bad thing is it's missing a wall. It's open. Anybody can run in. It's not soundproofed or anything else. And I said, thinking, well, all right, if we don't have an office, we're not paying $1,000 a month for you. What's the cost of building a wall and a door to make it the perfect home studio? That'll pay for itself probably within a month.
Yeah.
Would that make life better? Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd have my own little space. Nobody even knows whether I'm there or not. I won't be bothered. And, so, we kind of get creative and think about different ways of doing things. It's not just an economic solution. There's a whole emotional and other elements where, I think we've found those that really like this type of workplace or lack thereof have really thrived during it.
I think there's also an employee retention type aspect to this, because when we were introducing that, all the guys that worked with me come from backgrounds where it's impossible to work from home, or the company that they worked for was either really big or really small, and wasn't technologically advanced enough to ask the right questions, or to have anybody in their environment they could reach out to that was technical enough. They didn't have a protected trust that they could ask. What if I want to have somebody work from home? What do I got to do? And so all these guys kind of migrate into protected trust, and once they got that opportunity and they were able to have our surfaces and the dock and the headsets and the pens and the monitors, and they were able to kind of come and go freely between the office and their house really seamlessly. It's kind of a thing that they have now. I don't know the term for it, but it's like they have it, and the chance of going somewhere else and having that kind of freedom is unlikely in this current climate. With the way that offices haven't really progressed into that field yet, and they wouldn't want to leave. They're like, I like this. I like my job, and I'm able to do this kind of stuff freely, and I don't really care to go anywhere else.
And it also allows you to do that and expand your geographical reach and footprint with respect to where people live, or where you might find a new employee to hire from. We're based in Winter Haven, Florida, in Central Florida. I'm in Tampa, a little over an hour away, and I made that commute back and forth every day. And I never complained about it, and I knew it going in, and it wasn't going to make or break whether I wanted to work for Protected Trust. But at the same time, with this flexibility, I'm getting over 2 hours a day back to my life,
Yeah.
without disrupting the company. And for me, it's been better.
Right.
It's really been cool. So, next person you have to hire on your support team, you're not restricted to Polk County or Winter
Right.
Haven or Florida, or even the U.S. for that matter. They can come from
Right.
anywhere, which is pretty cool.
I mean, because now you're basing it on actual skill. You're basing it on the actual qualification and not being restricted to the region. And
Right.
I think that's great.
Or, somebody's spouse or significant other gets a job in another city, gets transferred. So, in the old days, you'd have to quit your job and find a new job somewhere else, or not go. Now it's like,
yeah, awesome. If you wanted to run off to Costa Rica, Todd, you could still you could tap right into the internet and be
I
online.
turn my camera and see the palm trees out there. That's actually where I am right now.
I think I like that. I like that nickname better than Miami, Todd. Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, Todd.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, he's got the tan. I like it.